Yeah, it was. You've probably read before the sort of process that we all sort of entered into. It was one of much secrecy. So, I didn't really know it was Alfred until the day I went down to meet Bruno and Downey, and they relieve you of all your electronic devices, and then you get to read the script. And of course, then I found out that it definitely was Alfred, which sort of really intensifies the process anyway. To make it, terrifying. You're following Gotham, like Sir Michael. What I tend to do is write Bibles, or character Bibles, which I then presented to Bruno on set on the first day of the set. And I was pleased. I tried to stay away from some of the things that have been written before about Alfred, because you need to find your own heartbeat, your own pace, rhythm, and your own relationship that you develop with David. And I was delighted when I started reading back into the past of Alfred that we were correct in many respects. We actually found ourselves there, and this is the brilliance of Bruno. Is subtextually, so much of that information is implied. So I was very pleased and proud to say that we got there on our own, with our own take of the character. Which I know I've got a few people's back on it so far, but you have to understand is that Alfred is never signed to be a father. He's found himself in a very tenuous situation where he blames himself for the death of the Waynes, and he finds himself being made a legal guardian, and he's made an oath, Bushido-like oath, to Thomas Wayne to protect him and bring him up. So he doesn't know any better. He's SAS, he's Special Forces, he's like, he was a commando Marines in the military all of his life. So it's a very interesting journey to take, both for David and myself. We've become very close. I have a son, weirdly enough, called Alfred, who's the same age as David. So it's very interesting for me to bring a boy up, and we're studying the psychology of post-traumatic stress, and bringing this boy up and finding a hook for their relationship to develop. So over this course of the series and seasons, you shall see the man before he becomes the man to don the cowl. So it's the moulding of him which is the interesting aspect. Thank you very much.
You talked about when you went back and looked at research and didn't look at some things, did look at others. Did you find more things that you could use in the comic backstory or in the Alfreds that have been from television series to the two different sets of movies?
To be honest, from the comics, actually. I started going back and reading them. It's his history I find extraordinary. He's taken on so many guises that he was, Thaddeus Crane, he was Beagle, and all this stuff. I love all that stuff. Pseudonyms, SAS, changing identity like they do with the French Foreign Legion. You're given a free identity if you serve for them. I love the art of concealment. I love the element of him being an actor as well. The fact that he used to ape Bruce Wayne's voice brilliantly. They're from the earlier, that's way back when in the 40s. But the art of concealment, SAS again. Teaching how to fight, to defend himself, and trying to mould him, but being dysfunctional himself. He suffers from the trials and tribulations of war and death himself. So he will discover an awful lot more about this one than you've ever seen before. I think you're already beginning to. Him trying desperately to find a hook. If you all know teenagers, he's trying to find a way of communicating with someone. It's not response.
I have to grab them now, I'm sorry.
Guys, thank you very much. Cheers, nice to talk to you, man. Take care.